I don't know. We've got a lot of confidence that we can push for the title.
I heard that at Azuri too.
5-2 Razzlers.
Alright,
Mark's taking drugs before the podcast. 4-0 Ozone.
I can't believe we're getting a bit of disrespect here. I think we're winning this.
I'm not going to back any team that Fletcher's in, so I'll go Retribution 2-1.
A 3-5-2 instead of a 8-1-1.
I think the most important player to that team. Just wanted to get that out.
fourth and fifth
Someone's doing cartwheels over their mic. I'm going to back the Generals, and I'm going to say we're going to verse Ozone in the grand final.
No, play it.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, Ulti. I feel sorry.
We got bent over. It was not fun, but
I wasn't really scoring many goals, but
later, bro. Not doing it.
he has been up and down player that I've ever played with on this website.
4-3.
wait, what?
Wait, what?
I told you he took drugs before that.
That is not a winning mentality.
Alright, just before we get into this AVPL Season 17 review, there's just a little disclaimer. Whenever you have 8 people doing a podcast, there's always going to be little fuck-ups. So if you do hear an echo or if someone's eating their mic, then I do apologise. But without further ado, let me introduce. First up, the man who came first with QO. Who would have fucking thought that at the start of the season? His favourite team's Arsenal? It's none other than Connor.
Ratings bad man, pleasure to be back.
Following Connor, it's my teammate over at Olympus Elite. He doesn't let me open his Foot Champs packs, so I concede on purpose and blame the game. It's none other than Darkened.
Yo.
Next up, it's the man who just clawed into the top 8 with Retribution FC. He co-manages them with Munted, so that in itself deserves a badge. It's Muxie.
What's going on, by how are we?
Fourth on our list, over at 5th place Razzlers, we're joined by E. Kotzi. Next on the podcast, the ex-Satnu Tadpole, according to Albie. Who else but Mark 11?
Good, how are you?
Following Mark, we have the guy who predicted Azuri not to come first. At the time, everyone thought he was on drugs, including myself. The man who officially takes Laterbrow's King of Controversy title. And yeah, he's also Ozone's manager. We have OG, or Ogie, again.
What's going on, man?
And last but definitely not least, the ex-Azuri now general player whose profile picture I have to cover up, otherwise I'll get banned from YouTube. We've got Ulti.
Great to be here. Lovely night in Melbourne.
First up, FC Chevrolet, who came equal last with a negative 37 goal difference and 13 points to their name.
I'll be honest. Not really a team I know too much about in terms of players. Yeah, look, we had a 2-2 draw against them. But look, one thing I can tell you about them is that keeper is fucking very good.
How good?
I don't know if any of you boys experienced this, but my God, he made some saves against us. So watch out for him in the future.
Ulti,
Old mate Clutters.
how did he go against you? Clutters especially, or Chevrolet in general? How'd they go?
With the Generals, we not to be rude to them, but we sort of dominated them. Look, I think they're an interesting team. They've definitely got some quality players. I rate that Herbert McBud, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I played a draft with him. He's quality. Even Bather. Yeah, they've definitely got the players, but their play style is it's not really good for pro clubs, I don't think, that high line. You get him behind, you're just going to score. I know when we first played them at Azuri, they actually beat us. Yeah, we did not utilise the high line very well.
I was watching their stream actually against QO and they had a 2-goal lead and I was surprised they're still going for goals and stuff.
Yeah, congrats to them for stepping into Div 1, a whole brand new team, and that's respect for me.
In 12th place, not first, 1, 2, 12, equal last. Negative 31 goal difference, 13 points. Yeah, it's Azuri.
Who do I start with? OG.
Start with OG, yeah, please.
Yeah, OG. Just a disclaimer, if anyone didn't watch the preview podcast, OG was sort of the most hesitant about them doing good, and at the end of the day, he was the only one that got it right.
I hate to say that I called it, but I called it. My QO boys came through on top, and Azuri fell apart, just like I said they would. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked. Don't get me wrong, it's a team full of quality players, but it's a team full of players who think they're above everyone else, and it sort of showed at the start of the season, and it showed in their downfall eventually, I guess. I mean, they did well for 2 seasons, but I knew that it wasn't going to keep up. There was just too many teams that were coming into it, and when you come into a comp and you don't show respect to everyone, that's what happened.
I don't know, it was a huge shock. I definitely didn't expect it to be out of even the top 4. Tied last place is crazy.
Yeah, we versed them in when they actually had their best 11, like second game, I'm pretty sure. We got 1-0 result against them, but they did look decent.
Yeah, I'm not going to get too deep into whatever happened inside there, but I just like to give a bit of respect to Matteo's Colin Snitch just for sticking up and staying there for the rest of the season, because it would have been easy for at least two of them to at least walk out. So fair play to them and fair play to Snitch for bringing in some half-decent players, to be fair, into that squad and continuing for the rest of the season. So yeah, bigs up to them.
They beat us first time, and then they had the bad lineup, and they beat us second time anyway.
Oh, that's
so
right. You were one of the only. You was the first defeat.
They had 3 wins and 2 of them are from us. So I think them splitting up for the season will be the best thing for them, because the players that have the big egos will go into teams as the bottom players now, and they'll build up. They'll come back next season stronger.
Credit to Snitch and stuff. There's been a bit of back and forth between some of our boys and him at the moment, but credit to him and the boys who actually did stick it out like that. That's a pretty tough ask. So got to take my hat off to him there. And you've got to ask the question, like, of all the other boys, like, seriously, like, you win two AVPLs and lose a few games and you're just off. Like, if it's something deeper, but like on face value, like, it looks pretty fucking ordinary. Like, for a team that claims they've dominated the last few FIFAs and shit, just to break up after a few losses. So, if there's any insight there, I'd love to hear it.
Before we get to Ulti, because Ulti, we're definitely going to get to you, but is that, like, I know Liverpool, for example, the Premier League champions, and people talking about them being the worst defending champions. Do you reckon that's applicable for Azuri, Connor?
Look, probably in my time, yes, but the thing is, like, I mean, obviously I had them premiers, so, eat my own words and stuff, but they had such a good team on paper, like they've been very good the last couple of FIFAs, can't deny it. I think one thing you got to remember is one of those AVPLs was when Diablo wasn't around and they had a lot of their better players. And also, I think it was on your podcast with Fletch recently, he sort of brought up about them being compared to Diablo as well, which I think is absolutely ridiculous, like, just quietly scratching my head at. I know there's probably a few people in this call as well that are, so.
Ulti, do you care to comment? I'm not going to force you, but yeah.
No comment. No, I'll talk. I love all the guys there, but I'm sure they'd all admit, man, like, it wasn't just about we're losing, so we're going to leave. Like, there were so many internal issues with, like, people refusing to play with one another. Just so much going on. Like, it was a nightmare. We were not going to enter the season, but certain players, said it wouldn't be the case come the season and everything would be fine. And Snitch and I, because we were both managing, we had faith that we could turn it around, because even last season came AVPL, we stepped up to another gear. And we thought we could do the same. And I know a lot of people, think about how we left and shit. And I agree. Only a few people that left, I'd say, left on bad terms. Like me, I was willing to stay. The generals hit me up and Snitch actually encouraged me to go.
Yeah, I don't blame.
It was a shit situation, but
I don't blame the players that left mid-season, especially not just after the start, but it's the problems that you sort of arise within the club. And
it wasn't healthy. It wasn't healthy for anyone.
Unhealthy, toxic problems within a club, I don't blame you for wanting to get the fuck out and going elsewhere where you're welcome and it's a bit more, whole as a club.
Yeah, but definitely quickly, if I can just say, props to Mattel's Connor Snitch. Nothing but respect for them for sticking it out. I'm sure a lot of the players that left, appreciate that.
Do you reckon Azuri will be back for next season, or is that it?
Oh, no. Look, maybe one day, like next FIFA or some shit.
Yeah.
But, like, even then, like, that's a stretch. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot to go through for very little. Like, yeah.
In 11th place, we have Titan Esports. They managed to finish 3 points above Azuri and Chevres, albeit they had the worst goal difference with a negative 39.
They gave Razzlers a pretty good game. So.
What was the score?
I can't remember the score. We couldn't break them down for a while.
They started the season off with 2 wins and they were in the top 4. So
we had a 5-1 and a 3-0 against them, but they're one of those teams that will just clog the middle at the top of the box, and it's just a super jammy game to get anything from it. Like TurkAU seems to be getting Team of the Week badges like quite often.
Chadinho wrote about them, and he said their player of the season was Rashi, 17 games played, 6 goals, 2 assists, with the MVP being TurkAU. And like he said, they've definitely got a bright future, and we'll wait and see if they continue. But hopefully they do.
In 10th place, here's where we create a little separation in the table. There was only a 3-point gap between 10th and 6th. The top 8 could have gone anywhere. However, we saw Classic Esport hit the 10th place spot. A surprise to many, they finished with only 28 points and a negative 6 goal difference.
Yeah, it's one of those teams where you don't want to verse because 0-0 result is written all over it. Park the bus and pray for a counter attack. But they do have good players on paper. And then yeah, we just versed them first time, drew 0-0, I think, and then that was a start. And then we beat them the next game. But that's about it.
I'm pretty sure I placed them eighth spot, just under us. I placed us seventh and them eighth.
Bit surprised by their lackluster performance, if you will.
Well, I'm surprised, but I think they suffered from the same thing that my own team suffered from, and that's consistency. I think we was hard to find consistency throughout the season. It was just crazy. There was like ridiculous results happening everywhere. So I think they just fell victim to that.
I mean, yeah, I did predict them to finish in the finals, but then mid-season when players started leaving, I think it just went downhill from there.
Bex and Clutch, who went to another team mid-season, I think. They'd signed Maburle. Mr. Tank Evans would move up. Shiraz. It's a mad team on the lineup, but...
They got Sammy as well, who
Sammy, yeah.
I rate him quite highly in DM.
Coming in at 9th, the most heartbreaking position on the ladder. Although they finished on the same points as Ozone in 8th with 29, it was their negative 17 goal difference compared to Ozone's negative 15 that cost them. It was the After Hours who took the 9th spot.
Yeah, they're another team where it's got a 0-0 written all over it. You really don't get many two chances. I mean, we played them last night, and I think we had like 15 key passes combined,
Oh, yeah.
and over 10 shots on goal on target. Yeah, and they still beat us 2-0. They played the Meta way, and they got them some results, and fair play to them. They probably exceeded expectation, but
I don't know. They're a bogey team for us.
Yeah.
We struggle so much when we verse them, and I don't know why it's like that.
What was it like, especially the last games or so? Did you think you were going to miss out to them, or how was it?
Yeah, look, we lost to them in the first game we played them. Like, we didn't just lose. They absolutely smashed us and deserved the win. Game last night, I basically just had the whole team on. We turned off all the streams. No one was watching anything. No one was following anything. We were sort of just talking about our one game against Chevrolet. I was sort of just drilling down into everyone's head that we just need to get into that game. We need to step it up and get the win, and then hopefully the other teams do their work for us. And they did, and that was basically it. Yeah, I mean, they're a good team. Credit to them. I think they exceeded expectations and they played well. And yeah, I mean, unlucky, but lucky for us, I guess.
It's like you said, it beat them 5-0 at the start, and then 2-1 later on in the season or something like that.
Okay. Tough team.
They're a team that plays for the result rather than get style points or something like that. Like FC Chevrolet with the high line. If they win a game, they're playing high line attacking football, stuff like that. But
I will say we're not having a dig at After Hours or the way they play. I think they play to their strength. That's something that, you know, if you want to succeed, and especially coming into your first season of AVPL, if you play to your strength, you know, no one can blame you for that. And the fact that they just missed out on top 8, that's nothing but respect from me or the boys here. So hopefully we see them again. Hopefully they bring in some players and new additions, and who knows, maybe top 8 next season.
And here we are, the remaining 8 teams of Season 17. Being as 7 of the boys from the podcast were in the top 8, I wanted to get their opinion on how confident they're going into the finals alongside how well they played in the regular season. In one of the closest races between 8th and 9th, Ozone just nicked it. Finishing with 29 points and a negative 15 goal difference, they now progress to this season's finals.
OG, 8th place, man. You've just got an E. I think you predicted yourself to come 7th last preview.
Yeah, we struggled with consistency. That was our thing from the start. One of the things that we were really lacking was that attacking midfield player that's as creative as Damo is, and that was sort of something that me and the other managers highlighted early on in the season as something that we were missing. And like, we tried a few different combinations, like we had Ibaz play there and a few other boys, but we just couldn't find that link with the attack with Niazi, because I mean, every chance Niazi got, he was putting it away, but we just couldn't find someone to be creative enough for him. So sort of mid-season.
How did you convince him, bro?
Well, Damo's good friends with my one of my managers, Q Quelafella.
Okay.
They're good mates. So that basically played its role. I had Q talk to him, and I just said, look, give us half a season, you know, help us out a little bit and see how we go. And yeah, he was supposed to, I think, if I'm not wrong, he was supposed to go to Retribution. I'm not sure why he didn't go there. And yeah, he ended up with us. I'm not going to lie, him and Niazi carried us into the finals, and yeah, quite happy we ended up signing him.
Not sure if there was, you know, an exchange of nudes or money, but Anyway, you've definitely brought in a quality player in Human.
And yeah, I mean, we're lucky to get the 8th spot, and now we just take it one game at a time. I think we got Razzlers first, so I've got fond memories of Razzlers from my time at Sicarios when we played them last time in this same part of the finals. So I'm hoping that we end up doing the same thing again.
Before we move on to Retribution, 8th versus 5th, Razzlers versus Ozone, Ikotsi, tough game.
Yeah, I think the weird thing about this season is anyone in the top 8 can beat anyone in the top 8. So it doesn't really, as long as you make the top 8, it doesn't really matter who you verse. So it's a tough game, but in the most respectful way possible, I hope we beat them by as many goals as possible.
Exactly. Ogie, response?
Yeah, I'll leave my response to the game. I mean, last game we played, we beat them, so I've got a bit of an idea of what I want to do against them. So we'll leave it at that. I think one of the things I find with them is they're a good team, but I think the further that you push them into a game and keep them goalless, the more frustrated they get. So we'll be playing along the lines of that.
Do or die. I can't wait. Well, I've obviously got to play with my team, but I'd love to watch that game.
And now onto the controversial part. Yay! It's each person's predicted scoreline and winner of Ozone vs Razzlers.
Connor, scoreline?
To be honest, I haven't really been that impressed with Razzlers. I thought they'd be better, so I'm going to go the underdog here. I'll go 1-0 Ozone.
Darkin?
I'm going to say 2-0 Razzlers.
Kotsi?
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'll go for 2-0. 2-0 win.
To who, Kotsi? To who, mate?
Mark?
5-2 Razzlers.
Alright.
Mark's taking drugs before the podcast.
I respect that, especially when Ogie's on the pod. Muxie?
I'm going to say 3-1 Razzlers.
Okay. Ogie?
4-0 Ozone.
What a guy.
What a guy. Ulti?
Yeah, look, I think Ozone can actually go all the way.
Woohoo.
I think it's one of those seasons that an upset can happen. It depends if Razzlers play Ramsey McHale. I think Razzlers will win.
I hope
they don't play Ramsey,
Razzlers play Ramsey because another team played Ramsey and we won.
Fair play.
Ramsey.
But if they don't play Ramsey, Ozone will win 3-1. That's my prediction.
Bringing in Kotsi, Daniel Gaming, Boutros, Harry and Turk, Retribution definitely solidified their team during the mid-season transfer window. However, even before that, they were pushing for the top 8 and testing a lot of the big teams. At the end of the season, they finished with 30 points and a -3 goal difference in 7th place.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird one. For many of the people that didn't know, we were actually the affiliate team of Ozone. We were meant to be in Div 2 going into the season, and yeah, we decided to make the jump. And to be honest with you, we didn't really have the quality. We grinded every night pretty much for rivals, but we didn't have the quality. So I kind of went in with a bit of a Mourinho approach. You know, as quite famously known, I just pretty much parked the bus and counter. But I think if you look at our results, you know, like we had 6 draws, and those 6 points on themselves have got us into that final spot. And not only that, like we did pull some good results. There was a point in time where I think we only lost 1 game in 10, and that was before we got these Diablo boys in.
Yeah.
And now we've brought these Diablo boys in. We've tried to be a bit more expansive. We're trying to play out. We're trying to not be that team that's parking the bus, because, you know, when it comes to these aggregate games in the finals, you can't really be doing that because you will get punished. It's him as a person, and I think he's brought probably the biggest impact on this team. And he's just such a calming voice at the back, and you know, he's helped me along with trying to implement some good structures and set plays and etc. And we shut the bed, I'm not going to lie. But we played him last week. We got a 92nd minute winner. And then, we played him on stream the other day. Fletcher was streaming, and we beat them 1-0 there. But, you know, I think it's quite famously known that Play Nation turn it up when it comes to the finals. And when you've got when you've got Fletch, you've got Waz, you've got Nanj, it's going to be a tough ask. But yeah, I think you've got Harry versus his big brother, so it'll be fun.
The idiots now predict who's going to win between Play Nation Esports and Retribution.
Connor, score?
Oh,
It's tough, eh? Fuck.
yeah,
That's going to
it
extra
is.
time,
It is.
goal to goal.
I'll go 2-1 Play Nation, but that could honestly go either way. So I've been pretty impressed with Retribution. They've been good this season. So
Darken.
I'll say 2-1 to Retribution.
Kotzi?
I'm going 1-0 Retribution with a Kotzi backstick header in the 90th minute.
Ooh. Mark?
I just think FFA have this comfortably. I can't see them losing this game, to be honest. But if they go out passive and not wanting to score, it's going in penalties, 0-0, and then FFA will win that.
Okay, 0-0. Muxie, your team, Retribution?
I can't believe we're getting a bit of disrespect here. I think we're winning this 3-1, honestly.
3-1?
Yes, Moxie.
I respect
love the
I
confidence.
think Kot's going to score, though, 100%.
Ogie?
I don't know. It's a tough one to call. I mean, I'm not going to back any team that Fletch is in, so I'll go Retribution 2-1.
Fuck. I hope he's not listening. Oti?
I hope he's listening.
Are you the Aegean Fire starter by any chance, Oggy?
Oti, how are we feeling?
I do know who the five starter is quickly. I would say Play Nation 2-1.
Okay. Yeah, fuck me. Some tough games. What a season, eh?
PlayNation Esports, what a weird season they had. From coming second and third last to finishing sixth on the AVPL season table, alongside bringing in just the likes of Fletch, Waz, Nunji, definitely a team to look out for in the finals. They can either go very far or very short. We'll have to wait and see. With 31 points to their name and a +5 goal difference, they are our 6th place.
No, to be honest, I think 6th is around about where I'd say they would have come. Just before the season, they had signed a bunch of players like Sammy and Tavari and stuff, and then they all left and made Classic Esports. So Alex just went through a massive rebuild 2-3 weeks before an AVPL.
They do have the players now, but their play style is a bit, but it's fine.
Yeah, a team that's prided themselves on defense, and I think they only kept 4 or 5 clean sheets this season.
Yeah, that's a bit. They should be doing better in that aspect of the game. But they do have good players to play a 3-5-2 instead of a 8-1-1, which they.
Yeah, look, it was it was pretty tough, that sort of like 5th to 9th sort of bracket for me. But to be honest, like even before they signed all these guys recently, I think they were probably still achieving above what I thought they would. Like they were hanging around that sort of bottom half of the 8. And my good mate Strazos had a pretty good season for him, so he was a good pickup for him. Yeah, no, we had some tough games against them. Like we had one recently, I think it was 3-2, and to be quite honest, 2 of the goals we scored were very questionable. I don't know if anyone watched the stream, but no, they're one of the teams that I don't really want to come up against in finals if it comes to it, because it's going to be a tough game. So
they've definitely got some quality players like Waz, Nani, Fletch, even Kyle, Alex, Charles. They got some good players, but it really depends. Like we all know that they just park come finals. So if they still have that in them, and then like Waz or Fletch or someone can just create a goal, like they could be dangerous,
Yeah,
But it just depends. Depends on who shows up.
I can't predict how good they're going to go in the final because I think they're the hardest team to predict.
On to Ekotzi's Razzlers, who finished with 39 points, 8 points above Play Nation, and with a +14 goal difference. They'd see themselves hover over the top 3, however, a disappointing second half of the season saw them finish 5th. Can either see this season as a positive one, being as they finished much higher than they did last season, or a negative one, as they didn't do as well as people predicted.
It's a weird one. We coming to Crocs Gen Cup, our run to the final, we beat Habibi, we beat Grease Mode, and we beat Generals, and we were just so full of confidence. And we come into the season, I think after the first 6 or 9 games, we were tied first. I think, I don't know, maybe it was just a lack of interest into the actual game, but we slipped off a bit. Our performance itself stayed at a pretty high level, but there was just little finishing touch or that little defensive mistake that was just costing us. And like our results, we have the tied least draws. And the way I see it is, if we didn't win, we lost. Which is something that some of the other teams to get those extra points and got the draws and things like that. But overall, it was a good season. We made finals, so we're happy.
Was there a problem with rivals with you guys? I heard a couple things. Maybe I shouldn't bring his name up, but Poet, saying things like you boys don't basically jump on enough for rivals. Is that a thing, or were you boys pretty active?
I think, I don't think it's like, I think we were pretty inactive, but everyone's at that stage of their life now where jumping on to play Rivals is not a main priority.
Yeah.
We're not all 16, 17, 18-year-olds. So I don't think that was an issue. I think it maybe would have helped us to be a bit more active, but I don't think that being active on Rivals was the issue as to why we didn't finish higher, because, we beat Hollywood 2-0 in one of the games. The biggest thing was struggling against the top teams. That was our issue. The top four, I think we beat Hollywood and we didn't get maybe one result against the rest of the top four, but yeah.
It was like sort of, like you said, win or loss. And maybe if you turn the losses into draws, we'd be putting you in the top four, eh?
Yeah, it's just a bit more confidence even to get a win in another game or something like that.
How are you boys going into the finals? How are we feeling? Is it confident? Is it a bit nervy?
I think after our game nights last night against Hollywood and Razzlers, we got,
I think it was 3-0, 5-0 or 4-0, something like that.
Yeah, we got bent over. It was not fun, but we came back and everyone in the chat had their own opinions on what was going wrong, what was going right, and I think we're going into this with more confidence than ever. We've hashed everything out and everyone's raring to go. So
so you've sort of sussed out all the bullshit and you're ready to go. First seen Ozone, obviously we just touched upon that. Who knows? It'll be do or die. It'll be a tough game, but definitely an interesting one. And before we move on to fourth, you boys had brought in PM Clutch. Is that correct?
Yeah, we brought in Clutch and Ramsey for our two signings.
How have they been, man?
Well, Clutch has the pre-existing chemistry.
Yeah.
And I think the first game he played, he got the ball and he just played this ball that no one else could see straight to Oz, and Oz scored. And it's just, he didn't need that time to settle in, which was good.
Oh, OG?
The fact that I haven't seen enough of Ramsey McHale in the Razzlers kit is quite sickening. Absolutely quality player. I'm obviously not a part of Razzlers, but I would definitely be playing it.
Yeah, look at our front our front four, and then you have Ramsey and Aaron on the bench to try and pick someone out to replace him. It's too hard. Deadly Star's been stick
you have the
to what we know.
for it, and you guys, I don't know.
Yo, that's facts, Mark. That's actually facts.
Like, if you have more than 5 quality attackers and you're playing a 4 at the back, I don't really know what you're doing. But anyways,
are you saying they should switch to 3-5-2, Mark?
I'm saying most top 4, including QR.
Our last game against Hollywood was a 2-0 win in a 4-2-3-1. So
yeah,
no disrespect. No disrespect. It's just, I don't think we play bad in a 4-2-3, and we play well nearly every game. We've had 3 or 4 bad performances. We dominate nearly every game we play. We've had a couple of shit games, and maybe you could switch formations, but going into the finals, I don't think switching formations would be the best thing, because
I'm not saying switch formations. Just play Ramsey.
4-2-3-1 is well and truly alive, boys.
Absolute go. Like, I don't know what else to say.
Have you guys tried a 3-5-2, Ikotsi?
I don't think we have. I haven't.
Oh my god.
We have.
Interesting. Yeah, we're writing off Razzlers too much. Before the season, I think everyone was predicting them second or third, or I think even someone predicted them first. But yeah, I don't know where they'll go in the finals. It's such a weird team again. They can make the grand final, or they can obviously, I think,
we'll wait and see. If we get knocked out and we lose 6-0, then we'll talk about formation. But I mean, if we come and we start beating people, then
hopefully we'll see a Razzlers.
We'll just wait and see. We can't really predict what's going to happen.
Hopefully we'll see a Razzlers versus Hollywood matchup, and then we'll see how we go, Mark.
And now we enter the top 4 of Season 17. The clubs that have sweated their ass off, sent other teams to the gulag. Even if you listen closely to their party chats, you can hear... And taking that 4th spot, the Generals. After finishing 9th last season, what a bounce back. With 46 points and a plus 24 goal difference, the Generals are well and truly back.
I wasn't at the Generals before the transfer window, but after it was phenomenal. Great team, great vibes. I just think I don't know, like before I'd never played with them before I joined, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I heard a lot of stick towards them, a lot of people make jokes about them and shit, but I just don't know. I think Cammy B is absolutely class in the net. Their backline just do not concede. They just don't concede.
We'll get to the stats later, but gold brick walls, gold gloves. Fuck me.
Oh, yeah.
How good's the defense, eh?
They're unbelievable. And then when you've got Stephen Gill right in front of them as well, like they're a tough team to tough team to score against. I'll give them that. Absolutely quality. And then, I've even when I joined, I thought the attack definitely could have used. Wasn't really scoring many goals, but
Later, bro, not doing it.
later, bro, nothing but love for the guy.
I'll get on to later, bro, Nugsy. Actually, we'll get on to them now. After you boys had come in, where have they gone? Have they gone on the bench? Have they shifted?
Nah, of course
elsewhere?
not. Too good to be on the bench, mate. Nugsy's out wide.
Okay.
He's quality. He's not played there much, but for someone that has barely played the position, he's got a very good understanding of it. Laterbra is back in centre back, absolute pocket machine.
Centre back now. What formation are you on?
4-2-3-1.
Oh, okay, Mark.
9-1-1.
I mean, but we don't really have the 5 attackers though. We don't have the 5 attackers. So, what are we meant to do?
The
Oh,
thing
you
is,
got 5 attackers or what?
Do we?
Bro, you Nugs toxic skids.
Wait, Skids?
Wouldn't be classing
Isn't
Skids
he
as
an
an attacker.
He's definitely a very good fullback.
You can put
One
later.
of the best I've played with.
yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, the audio fucked up. I basically asked Ulti how they're feeling about going into their matchup against quality outfits.
Quality outfits, mate. Got a lot of history with QO. Their DM, Superfly Pro, unbelievable player. Whoever signed him a few seasons ago deserves a pat on the back. Cough, cough. That was me. I don't know. We've got a lot of confidence that we can push for the title.
I heard that at Azuri too.
I feel like this is a classic repeat of the Big Dom situation, just a different name.
Nah, listen,
Okay,
listen,
so
listen,
you're
listen,
thinking
listen.
they're not going to go
Nah,
far?
difference. Because I'm not saying
Same
we're going to
cockiness.
win. No. I'm not saying we're going to win, but you gotta have faith in yourself. I think we can do well. You just gotta take it one game at a time.
Actions speak louder than words, and you boys are getting mad results as of late anyway. So I think Generals versus QO is going to be a pretty
Oh, that's going to be a tough game. It's definitely going to be a tough game.
Audio fucked up. I basically asked both of them who's going to win, Generals or QO. Okay, cool. No.
I got to back Generals in this one.
Yeah.
Might be a bit of a shock, but if the only reason I'm saying this is because I predict Envy's going to come out and he's going to score a lot of goals. And he's the biggest thing for them. If Envy can get going, then Generals will be near favourite to win it.
Fuck, big praise. Mark?
I forgot they had Envy as well. Yeah, that's another attacker. There you go. Look, the way that Generals play, they can beat any team. They park it, and then with Stephen Gill and DM, it's hard to get past them there. And then one goal. If they score first, I'm saying they're going to win. QO score the first goal, it'll be difficult for them to come back. But I'll stick with QO winning this.
Imagine Generals' play style. They used to be the team that sits, a team that soaks all the pressure up.
Yeah.
Now with Gillard, Stephen, and Envy.
Yeah.
And me, mate.
That's the way I...
And Ulti.
Sorry, Ulti.
Forget about it.
That's what I mean.
But that makes
They
it
always
worse.
have
And
defense.
Ulti now.
Yeah, but now they've added to that. They're looking fucking sharp, man, like you were saying.
It's one of those seasons where, I think in past seasons there's been a couple teams where it's fuck, man. Not taking anything away from QO. They're playing unbelievable, but there's not much separating them from a Lazzarus as, you know what I mean? It's going to be an interesting final series.
I said to our boys a fair way out that, look, if there's one team I don't want to play in the finals, it's the Generals. We've got a very good history against them, though, in recent times, in big games and that sort of stuff. I think last season we went 1-0 down against them. It was the game to get into the finals. Whoever won got in, whoever lost missed out, and we scored 3 in 15 minutes at the end of the game and beat them. But yeah, sort of in more recent, even when Ultimate was at QO, I think we won a finals game against them then too.
Unbelievable times.
Yeah, so I think, look, I'd rather be playing someone else, but at the same time, I've still got a lot of confidence. We finished top for a reason, so yeah, we'll go in with confidence. We're not worried about anyone, but yeah, it'll be a tough game, 100%.
Yeah, Ogie, Mux.
Yeah, it's just a hard one, man. Generals they're tough at the back, but I mean, QO have only conceded the same amount of goals as them, so I think QO have the better attacking outfit, and like we said, if they score first, they'll be hard to come back. But I do think if Generals do score first, I still think QO can outscore them. So yeah.
Interesting. Ogie, I know you've probably got the most accurate prediction.
I'm backing my QO boys all the way home here. no disrespect to the generals, but I think even just listening to the way that some of the players from the two teams are talking, QO obviously coming into this again with respect. So yeah, I think QO will get the job done. Not easily, but they'll get the job done, and I'm backing them all the way home, man. They're going for that title. It's theirs to lose.
Now on to third place, Razzlers. All of the boys ended up moving from Razzaz to Olympus Elite due to internal problems. Whilst the attack was killing it with Zayty, Hollowpoint and Darken, bringing in the likes of Big Dom and Monk definitely helped to solidify the defense. Olympus Elite ended up finishing with 49 points and a plus 33 goal difference, one of the best in the league.
We have this thing that we struggle against the teams that are in the bottom half of the table. Like, we're just dropping points.
I've got to say, like, I don't know a lot of the Razzlers guys, so they've sort of been a team that it's been hard for me to rate, like, or I guess predict, sorry, is probably the better word, just because I don't know many of their players personally or anything like that. But the way they play is the way that this game should be played, in my opinion. Like, whenever we play them, it's always an entertaining end-to-end game, high scoring. Yeah, so I think a finals matchup with them down the track would be unreal.
Yeah, I just want to back up that point. Like, the respect that I've had for Razzlers now, that the way they play, the way they press the football it's like you said, the way this game should be played.
Bringing in Big Dom, Monk too, Darken.
Unbelievable players.
Yeah, it's a bit of a. Obviously, I'm in the team, and you'd see. I'd play with Monk before, but I haven't really played with Dom except for EG New South Wales. And fuck me, what a player! It's such a person that you don't want to be coming up against. So it's good to have them in front of you as a goalkeeper. But how good have they been, man? What's the influence?
Oh, well, the whole thought behind getting Dom in was because we played such an attacking brand of football that we needed pretty much the best centre-backs that we could get. It's going to be like 3 versus 4 most of the game. And bring in a player like Big Dom has just solidified the defence so much more. And it's been a huge signing for us, especially as a mid-season transfer. And a player like Monk as well. I noticed that we didn't really have a left back in our team, and Monk's able to play that left wing back if we need to. We can just slot him into that full back role in a 4-2-3-1. And
we're obviously heading into the finals now. Going in with confidence, man. What's the?
I feel like our games against QO are 50-50, and our games against Hollywood are 50-50. Anyone in the top 4, like everyone said, anyone can beat anyone, and it's just whoever plays better on the night, really.
Connor, where are we sitting on this?
Score prediction wise?
Score prediction, chuck it at me. Who's winning?
Predictions and scoreline of CF Hollywood versus Olympus Elite. What a game.
I really want to say Razzlers. I don't know. When I look at that Hollywood team, it's hard to imagine how anyone could really beat that team, to be honest. But fucking nonetheless, I'll go 3-2 Razzlers.
Darken, obviously your team.
I was thinking a 3-2 to Laz or a 2-1 to Laz. I can see a 3-2 happening.
Yep. Cutty.
No disrespect to Razzlers, but I'm going to 3-1 Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. Mark, obviously your team, and we'll get to you boys. But where are we sitting?
Yeah, look, this is going to be like probably the best game of the season. 2 teams, 3-5-2 attacking game style, press. It's what you want. It's a shame that every team plays it, but it's good to see these 2 teams doing it. And then it's going to be hard, but I'll say Razzlers will win this one, 4-3.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
I told you he took drugs before.
That is not a winning mentality.
Did we just go from 3-1 to 4-3?
I told you he's on drugs.
No, but you feel like
3-0, Mark, but
pressure. I don't want pressure on us. Oh, look, you lost.
You can't have that mindset.
Wait, one quick thing is top 4 if they lose to get a second chance.
Guys, man, what sort of questions are you asking? You should say you're not going to lose.
If you lose, you'll play the winner of Play Nation and Retribution.
All right.
Oh, fuck. Well, you know what? Can I just go next, Madman? Because my mind's just been made up. I was originally going to say Hollywood, but now Razzlers are definitely going to win because I don't know what I'm listening to.
No, we'll pull an offset. There you go. Now with underdog. Everyone plays
wants to be the
Razzlers.
underdog.
Yes. I just want to say Dark and Shadows. Like, I know a lot of people rate MV Zayty. Very good player.
Insane.
Dark and Shadows, though, in Cam, I think the most important player to that team. Just wanted to get that out of there.
No way.
Yeah, he no, I can't lie. Dark and Shadows killed us when we versed them. He was the
Unbelievable
reason they beat
camp.
us that first time.
Ogie, you don't think so?
No way. Zaty and Hollow Point are the heart and soul of that team.
Wow. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
but
Wait,
they
yeah.
don't
don't
get
rate
service
Dark,
without
do you?
Dark, though. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't
Oh,
really.
they've done their thing even before Darken though.
Not really.
Take
Like,
that, Darkin.
I feel like, I don't know. I
Yeah.
feel like Darkin brings that next level to that attack.
We'll see. We'll see next season.
I mean, let's just. What about finals? Like, what about next year? That's
I
like
predicted
4
the
months
final
away.
was going to be Lazraz and QO, so I'm still sticking to that.
Okay, but you don't rate Darken. All right,
I
Moxie,
didn't-
scoreline?
Darkin, just cover your ears, Darkin. It's just hate.
Oh no, it's fine. He's improved massively this FIFA. Like, he's turned into a whole different player. And Guns next to him is like his
So have you
friend.
though, man? Because like I remember you at Azuri like season 14, and like the player you've become now, like
Mate,
crazy
all I can
improvement.
say, Ulti, is I suck on the wing, right?
Nah. But you and Cam though, I'm telling you,
Thank you very
Really?
much.
There's a lot of rims. Wow, Ulti. Congrats.
just a nice guy. Gets
nice
misunderstood.
guy. Unlike Ogie. I'm joking. Moxie?
Yeah, look, not without having any spoilers, I think Laz will lose this game, but I still predict them to make the final.
The grand final.
Yep.
Okay. How much will they lose by?
Probably like a goal, probably like a 3-2.
Yeah. And
Thanks, man.
Mark, don't even talk, bro. I don't want to hear you. Ogie?
I'm gonna go with what Mark predicted against my team when he had the chance. So I'm gonna go with 5-2 Lazarus.
Yeah. Okay. I can
Did you take that down on a notepad or something?
Yeah,
How'd you
Mark,
remember
you
that?
changed.
Not gonna be 5-2. I'll give you that, but yeah.
Jeez. Ulti, last but not least.
I already answered.
Did you? Oh,
I,
fuck.
I was gonna say step
Went after
overs, but
me.
then Mark 11 said we're gonna lose. Do we get a second chance?
That's
I'm just gonna
right.
say Laz results.
I want my second chance. Losers bracket.
Well, then Laz. Well, then Laz.
So, Saturn FC, Mark. What happened last season? Check it out.
Now, the top two. Only separated by a point, CF Hollywood saw themselves boasting a plus 36 goal difference with 57 points to their name. With both their attack and defense killing it in the regular season, they're a force to be reckoned with in the finals.
We had so many games where we should have won and not conceded, and
Didn't
some
you
play.
boys beat QO? Sorry.
Yeah, we
In the
did.
last-
No, I think we beat them the first game, and then we played them the second time. We had
Drew the first
DCs.
game, we should have won. Buckled in the 90th minute.
Yeah, and then we had 3 DCs, and then we scored 90th minute from our centre back, putting our 40-yard through ball. So that, I don't know. It's disappointing that we're not first, but it is what it is.
How's the season gone? Other than that, I know a lot of your boys, Nesta and Naylor and yourself, haven't won the AVPL title yet. Are you boys confident? Is it going to be a repeat of what happened last year?
I'd hope not, because I'd say it'd be pretty disappointing if we don't win this one after all the time we've put in. Probably got one of the best teams fought at a high level, and then we can't lose from here.
And here we are. After weeks of uncertainty, we finally have our Season 17 premiers. With an unbelievable plus 36 goal difference and 58 points to their name, quality outfits are our premiers. Many people doubted it, however their class lineup was simply too good in the regular season.
Look, I wouldn't have said we couldn't do it. I think top two, like to finish that first or second, even third, I always knew we could do. But I think we just didn't really want to put too much pressure on ourselves. But yeah, to actually get premiers is unreal. But I did say in the chat the other night, because I wasn't playing when we won it. I just basically came in the chat and said, "Who gives a fuck?" Like no one remembers the minor premiers and stuff. So if we buckle now, no one's gonna, no one's gonna think anything of it apart from that we're chokers. So challenge is now is just trying to keep us focused and no one gets too cocky and shit, because I think a lot of the boys in this team, with the exception of a few, haven't really probably won premiers before. So I think. Yeah, just trying not.
The ego on that team is something else.
Yeah,
Some of the players are like, oh my god, I don't even get into it. But if you lose from there,
ego in this team.
Oh, is there ego, Connor?
No, look, I don't see it. I know there's been a bit of shit spoken in that, but a lot of that's aimed towards Azuri, which, quite frankly, I think is deserved. But yeah, the challenge is just trying to keep everyone's heads everyone level-headed, I should say. So, but no, we're doing a good job. So I think we'll be right.
You'll be right.
Ready to
Going into
go.
the finals with confidence, man. Reckon
Yeah,
you'll
100%. But we can't sit here now and think, oh, no one expected for us to be here. We don't deserve it and that. Like, we played the whole season out. We won the games we needed to. We finished top, so we deserve to be here. So yeah, we'll be going in confident.
On to the stats, and first, let's talk about the race to the Golden Boot. Lays Lockie had finished first with an unbelievable 23 goals in 24 games. Following him was Niazi from Ozone Wolves with 20 goals in 24 games. And in third place, Olympus Elite's finest, Zati, with 19 goals. Big congratulations to those three boys, and honourable mentions to Naylor, Hollowpoint, Saar, Toxic, Veach, Nugsy, and Furtak. Now, let's hear what Connor had to say about his main striker, Lays Lockie.
Oh, fantastic. To be honest, when we first got Lockie, he was pretty raw. Like, you could see he had ability, but we were playing him out wide a little bit, and out wide it's not where he needs to be. He needs to be in the middle as that lone striker. And he's kind of just adapted as the season's gone on to how we want to play. And, he's kind of, I guess, learned to tick the ball around a little bit more. His first instinct when he first used to get it was kind of, try and make plays for himself and take people on. And I don't know, he's kind of adapted to our play style a lot better now. And I think that's why he's sort of reaping the rewards. His positioning in the box is, to be honest, it's brilliant. It's one of the best strikers I've played with in that sense. If I drive into the box or if Rick drives into the box, like, he's always in that perfect position, just waiting for the X ball across to tap it home. And I think that's where a lot of his goals sort of came from. But no, he's been unreal this season. So
Ogie, what the fuck? Niazi with 20 goals? What a season, man.
We knew that was always going to happen. That was why I marked him as a striker that we wanted to bring him before the start of the season. Credit to Chombiska, who contributed a lot in getting him across and getting him into the team. He was vital in making that transfer happen. We always knew he had it. Like I said, we just needed to pair him up with a good cam, and we've got a couple of exciting signings that we've confirmed coming up at the end of this season that will only bolster that. So, we'll see how it looks.
Interesting. Looking good for Ozone in the future. And Zati in third, 19 goals. Darkin, I know today on EGM there was a lot of talk of him being fucking cracked. How good was he? 19 goals, third, just above fourth on 16 points. 16 goals. How good's he been?
Zadi's a different player this season. I think we've already spoken about that, but he's stepped it up to a whole new level, and you can see it in pretty much every game that we play. Like, he can skill through a defense of like 5 people. He can spot a pass. Like, he can do it all. And then I've got to give a mention to Guns as well, for a hollow point that only managed to play 16 games this season and ended up getting 16 goals as well.
Moving on to Dishmaster, and it was once again QO topping the assist charts, with Rick Tran finishing at 16 assists. Following Rick Tran was Dark and Shadow's 15. And coming in at third, a huge surprise, but hugely deserved nonetheless, it was Muxi, finishing with 13 assists. Honourable mentions go out to Naylor, Damo, Mark, Saar, Envy, Ulti, and Custom Kyle.
The whole thing with Rick was kind of interesting because we were mid-season. I think our first thing we were going to do was trade Envy to Azuri for Veach, which I guess partially happened. Envy didn't end up going there, but and then we sort of got a bit of a heads up that Rick was looking to leave Razzlers, and I don't know. We kind of moved on it because it all sort of came about that we had 5 attackers and someone was going to miss out. So we sort of said to Damo, look, you're probably not going to be starting every game at this point in time, even though like he was playing quite well for us at the start of the season. You couldn't knock his form, but someone had to miss out, and he was kind of the unlucky one. So he ended up moving on to Ozone, and then Rick sort of became available, and we thought, fuck, quality player. I played with him at Ozone, let's make this happen. And yeah, sure enough, we brought him in, and he's only got better with time.
Muxi, we'll go with you, man. What a fucking season. Did you think you'd be top 3? Did you think you'd be anywhere near that? Or?
Yeah, no chance. When you're looking at the other names on that list, it's no chance. But like I also say, like you've got a lot of players in that list that are just surrounded by other quality attackers, so it kind of gets filtered out quite a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's about building consistency from now on. Like, this is my first proper AVPL season, so hopefully can I kick on from now on.
Now the golden ball. Here we have Hollow Point in 1.4 assists and goals per game. However, being as he didn't meet the threshold of 16.8 games, he's unfortunately not our first place. However, massive credit to Hollow Point for still achieving 1.4 goals and assists in his 16 games played. So taking first place is Az from the Razzlers, achieving 1.3 goals and assists per game. In equal second, we had Laze Locky, Naylor and Zayti with 1.2. And coming in at third, it was the General's Envy with 1.1. Honourable mentions were Darken, Veach, Niati and Rick. Yeah, we also don't have audio from the guys. My bad. Now moving on to possessions one per game. You know, the N'Golo Kantes, the Idrissa Gana Gays. We had Turk coming in at first with 8.3 possessions won per game. That was 1.6 higher than second place. An unbelievable accolade from the man at Retribution. Second place was Stephen Brumo from the Generals with 6.7 and third place was Soldier from Olympus Elite with 6.5. Honourable mentions go out to Blue Afro, Superfly, Sammy and Brumby alongside Bex, Kerp and Mohamed Dilassad.
Just from the games he has played, man, this guy's a different animal. Winning the ball back, on the ball, he's just, yeah, him as a player, he's unreal. I couldn't fault him.
Generals, you obviously bring in Stephen Brumo, ulti.
What can I say about the guy? Look, a lot of people are going to think I'm saying this because I'm mates with the guy, but I genuinely believe he's, other than Waz, I think he's the best DM of all time on the side. Like, I just don't know how you can't. Like, he's won everything in there. This is probably going to be his third goal possessions won, and he's not one of those frauds that, like, you know, they sit like a second last team and they just win the ball.
Yeah.
Like, he's done it consistently at top teams, just win the ball. I don't know, but it's not just him on the ball. His composure, his decision making. He's just, yeah, you can't go wrong with the guy. I think any team would be dumb to say no to the guy. I think you can't deny that. Even if you don't think he's the best, you can't not put him in like the top 5.
Now onto the clean sheets, and we'll look at the goalkeepers, the best position on the pitch. In first place, someone that I predicted would be up the top, it's Carrie B with 15 clean sheets. One of the most slept on goalkeepers on the side, and someone who doesn't get the respect that he deserves. He's absolutely killed at this AVPL and is surely going to get a team of the season. In second place and in line to get a silver glove is myself with 13 clean sheets. And in third place, one behind me is Yoga with 12 clean sheets in 24 games. Honourable mentions go out to Adensky, Pollard, Meb, Hectic, Mezzy, Mr. Tank Evans, Sir Deadpool and OG.
Yeah, look, I've known how good Cammy is because back when I was a QO player, he was there as well. He's even just from back then, he's still unbelievable. Like, this defense is so good. We don't really concede many shots, but like the guy just makes saves. I don't know. He's just quality.
Connor, Yoga would come third. I would come second with 13 and 12 respectively. Yoga, how good's he been?
I'm just going to come out and say it.
Did you have him to like sort of win the Golden Glove or Silver, or what was the goal?
Yoga, but I'm just going to come out and say now, like, he's top 3 keepers on the side at the moment easily. Like, he has been absolutely unreal this season. I really don't care if you disagree with me, to be honest. Like, we've seen it, we know, so
yeah,
that's all that matters. He has seriously been unreal. And every time someone gets a penalty against us, we don't even have to worry, to be honest, because he's just going to save it 90% of the time. So.
And finally, before we predict the winner of this AVPL season, we have to talk about the defender clean sheets. Coming in alone at first is the General's everlasting hookshot. He solidifies himself as the number 1 with 15 clean sheets. In equal second is Bo, Sesto and Nesta with 13. And in equal third, coming in with 12 clean sheets is Brash, Goldini, Mr. Studio Gao and Snake Nizza. The Generals, QO, CF Hollywood and Olympus Elite well and truly took over this accolade. Honourable mentions were Skids and E. Kotzi. Props to the defenders for making every goalkeeper's life easier, and congratulations to those boys in specific.
Oh, Sesto's an unreal player. He can play anywhere on the pitch, but he really thrives in that centre-back role. And I'm not going to say it, but he's only played a few seasons, already got brick walls in pretty much both of the AVPLs that he's played, I think.
Nesta and Bo, Mark, your team, how good have they been? Is Nesta playing centre-back
Yeah,
now?
we're playing 3 at the back. Him, Bo, and like the right centre back always changes with like Jaws, Fatty, and Jun here and there, so that always transitions between them. But the other two have always played every single game. And we probably could have kept more clean sheets. We've conceded some very stupid goals, but about it. And then Jordan, our keeper, he would have been up there, but he missed, I'm pretty sure, 2 or 3 game nights, which cost him a little bit.
And finally, the boys predict their AVPL Season 17 Grand Finalists alongside their predictions on who will win.
Who do we start off with? Who do I point the finger at? We'll start off with Muxi. Muxi, grand finalist and grand finalist winners.
Yeah, I don't know if this can actually happen, but I think Kyo and Laz, I think those two will be in the final, and I think Kyo will just edge it.
Scoreline?
Yeah, probably like a 3-2 or 2-1.
That'll be an interesting grand final. Ogie?
Yeah, I said it at the start, so I'll stick by it. QR and Laz, I'm not going to really go too far with the scoreline predictions because it's going to be tough, but I think it'll be like 1 goal either way, maybe like a 2-1 or a 1-0, but I'll go QO to win it.
Okay. Connor, everyone's backing you?
Yeah, no pressure. I might do a Mark 11 and predict us to lose. Nah, but look, I think, like I said before, I think our games with Razzlers are that entertaining to, I guess, the neutral perspective that I think it'd actually be good for the website to have those games. So I'll go us versus Laz, and 3-2. That's where our games don't go any other way than 3-2 sometimes. So 3-2.
Cutsy?
I'm a pretty big, not many know, but I'm a pretty big shit talker. So any team in the final, I'm confident we're going to win. I don't think we'll go the whole way.
Win it? Against who?
Well, on the bracket thing, I think we'll be versing either Play Nation, Retribution, Hollywood, or Razzlers. I'll predict that it'll be either Razzlers or Hollywood. I'll go Hollywood to make the final, and I think we'll beat them in the final.
We'll move on to Mark. Mark?
This is disgusting. 3 out of 3 saying we're not going to make
Mark's copping it a bit.
I don't really.
I think after your prediction, man, no one.
So good, Mark. Deflect the hate.
It's right.
Mark, I just said you were going to make the final.
Yeah, I know. The other 3 didn't. It's a bit, but it's fine. I think we'll make the final. And
Bit rude.
Yeah, I can't really see us losing. Unless some aid stuff happen, but that's about it. I'll get for us and we're in the same side as Razzlers, so one of us has to go. So I'll say us and QO.
And you boys will nick it, you reckon? So you're predicting that we'll beat you, but in the grand final.
Yeah, we'll come to the bracket. Just come sweep these up. That's it.
Okay. Ulti, Generals, everyone's sleeping on the Generals, man.
Yeah. Look, I think the safe bet would be to say, QO, Hollywood, or Razzlers, one of those teams. But honestly, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to make a prediction like Oggy. I'm going to back the Generals. And I'm going to say we're going to verse Ozone in the grand final.
I don't know. Ulti, I feel sorry for you, bro. I don't want you to lose to me twice in one season.
Bro, I'm here.
I reckon we do a little bit of a sports bet. And Ulti puts $50 on Ozone to make the final.
The Generals versus Ozone, and I can't predict the score will be too close.
So much pressure.
And Darken, last but not least, man. Are you backing your boys at Razzlers? Olympus?
Gonna have to back us. I do think it's gonna be a Hollywood Laz final though, but it's so close because QO are definitely gonna be up there as well. So I'll still say Hollywood Laz.
Scoreline?
2-1 or 3-2.
Yeah, one of those high-scoring games.
And that about wraps it up. You heard the boys' opinions on each team this season, their predictions on the first round of finals, their perspective on the stat toppers, and also their projected grand finalists and winners of this season. This video took 3 days to make, so the least you could do would be to show some love to the channel. All the best, and I hope you enjoyed this final series.